Live from tape, pre-recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas and Portland, Oregon, it's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Hi everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television, genre, and storytelling, in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television, one episode at a time.
We are joined today by our dear friend of the show, Jeff Martin. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Delightful. I've learned so much about fucking robots.
Robots!
In the last couple of hours. Jeff, welcome back. This is your, I want to say this is your fourth round with us?
Fifth, I think.
Maybe, yeah. Old veteran, old friend.
Ugly Americans, News Radio, Workaholics, and...
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's right! So this is, wow, I feel like you should get like the hosts do if they host SNL like 5 times or more or something. Like, we should send you a trophy.
I have your address. I'll get you like a soccer trophy.
There you go.
Or something.
That'll be great. I'll
there you go.
Get like a wrestling belt made.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a cummerbund.
Next time I'll have entrance music.
Yeah. Instead of the WWE, it'll just be SWLAB.
Okay.
Big,
microphone in the middle.
Big jagged letters or whatever. If you're just now joining us, we're talking about Kaido Senshi Gandamu Sushi no Majo, or Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, a Japanese mecha anime, one of the latest entries in the long-running Gundam franchise. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury started airing in July 2022 on MBS and TBS, 2 subsidiary stations of the Japan News Network, starting with the Prologue that we're watching today, and then a 24-episode series later that year in October.
Yeah, for a little background, Mobile Suit Gundam is a long-running Japanese media franchise. It started in 1979 and was initially created by Yoshiyuki Tomino and a series of contributing artists and production crew using the pseudonym Hajime Yatate. Each Gundam series is set in a world where humanity has built piloted, large-scale robots, called mechas, that handle Earth's warfare. Other mecha genre examples include Mazinger Z, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Transformers. It's known over here in the US for its multiple animated series and buildable toys of the mechs, Gunpla or Gundam mech plastic models. There are over 30 Gundam animated TV shows across multiple different timelines.
Jeff, before we get into the literal show that we watched this time and the prologue, do you have any other background for us on Gundam Gundam and mecha as a genre, or Mobile Suit Gundam specifically? I understand that you've been watching a lot of it recently.
Yeah, man, I fell into a hole and I have not gotten out. So I got into Gundam in a kind of recently, and in maybe the weirdest possible way, which was just that one of the series, the second most recent one now, Iron-Blooded Orphans, takes place partially in my hometown.
Hello?
Given that I live in the middle of Canada, that was notable. So I basically went out of my way to watch the series after I saw a trailer where they blow up my friend's apartment building.
I'm sorry, are you being for real with us on this?
Yeah, no, this is real.
It's set in Alberta?
It's not set there. It's set on Mars for the most part. But
I forgot you're from Mars.
Yes. But there is a key plot point where there's a major government set up in Edmonton, and they have to take this diplomat character there and, keep her alive so she can do this big speech. But as sort of part of that plot line, there's obviously a mech battle, and they sent part of the crew to Edmonton to do a bunch of research photography, and that involves blowing up a bunch of downtown, including my friend's old apartment building. So as soon as I saw that in the trailer, I had to watch this show.
I get it. I get it. Say no more. Like anytime I see anything like that, I'm there. I watched a documentary about a dead mall because it was a dead mall that was like in my hometown that I grew up with. So I get it.
But by the time the series got to the point where they blew up my friend's apartment, I was like 1,000% in.
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then after that, like just this past year, I had an idea to do a one-page RPG for a game jam that was based on a conversation I had with some cartoonist friends about what if instead of a mech game that really focuses on how the machine works and having a lot of really detailed rules for how to manage this machine, it was just about how anime handles it, where the pilot screams emotionally and stuff happens. I made a one-page game called Big Robots, Big Feelings,
Right.
where everything you do is just feelings-based. You don't really have to understand how the robot works mechanically. But that led to seeing that Disney Plus added a bunch of Macross series to it, which is done by the same company as Gundam, but is like a separate thing. It's also Robotech in the US, which you might have heard of.
Yeah. I'm more familiar with that name for sure.
But so they added a bunch of sort of the more recent Macross series. So I watched Frontier, and that was awesome. They defeat aliens with the power of art. That's actually what Macross is basically about, is that music is love, and love can defeat anything.
Oh,
Therefore, music can defeat anything.
I think I might be sold on this already as a concept.
Yeah.
It's really like genuinely, the concept is very silly, but they use it to make some really genuinely effective emotional storytelling, and it doesn't come off nearly as silly as it sounds, the way I just described it. But then it seemed like Netflix and Disney were competing for my attention, because Netflix in Canada started uploading old Gundam series. And so that led to essentially an entire summer where I would just watch a Macross series, and then watch a Gundam series, and then watch a Macross series.
And now you're just
and now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here.
Yeah.
God, I have like next to no familiarity with this, so I am, other than obviously I have seen the toys on shelves.
Sure.
And I know it's just part of the texture of anime, so I actually am really excited to learn more. As for Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury, the show is set in a new timeline using the Ad Stella calendar system, set in a half-distant future where humanity has firmly established itself in space, but a cataclysmic conflict has divided and alienated those who still live on Earth with those who live out in Earth's Spacian colonies and outposts. While great advancements have been made using Gundam technology, there are those who hold that humanity's use of these weapons are both too dangerous and erode part of the human condition. Based on what we've seen so far in this prologue pilot, Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury has themes of technology, transhumanism, militarism, corporate ethics, the burden of warfare, and human identity woven throughout into it. And of course, while we've only seen the pilot, the rest of the series apparently contains key allusions to The Tempest, which is my second favorite Shakespeare play behind Julius Caesar.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. If we spirits have offended... Oh, I started quoting the wrong play.
Oh, fake fan.
Fake fan. Immediately went for Midsummer Night's Dream. If we spirits have offended, here, but this and all is mended, or whatever.
Shakespearing my head at you, Ben.
I meant to say, and now my charms are overdone, which is what Prospero says at the end of The Tempest.
All right.
Good news. You could have said almost anything, and I would have just been like, yep, that's from that.
Who can forget that famous line from The Tempest? Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Yeah, there was a crossover, right?
Yeah, that's when Romeo showed up in The Tempest. He washed ashore like on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
As a guest star.
That's also
that
canon
episode.
To Gilligan's Island, also a Shakespeare play.
That's right. At Folkvangr, a space-based mobile suit laboratory base on the side of an asteroid. Fantastic start. Scientists and pilots are working tirelessly to bring a new type of mech suit online, one powered by the GUND format, GUND, that will allow machines to interface directly with human brains. Meanwhile, 2 key crew members of the Folkvangr base, pilots Elnore Samaya and Nadim Samaya, struggle to raise their toddler, Ericht, on board the base. When a government takeover of the Gundam laboratory leads to its near destruction, only Elnore and Ericht survive, and as Nadim dies fighting the armored intruders bent on purging the world of Gundams. Jeff, I've got 2 key questions for you. Why this show? Why this episode? Because obviously there is a dearth of Gundam material that we could have covered, and I'm very curious why this specific iteration of it, and obviously why this pilot.
So I think I picked this series and this pilot because this specific episode is, one, it's super self-contained. The rest of the series takes place 21 years later. So this is just like a really good encapsulation of like, this is what a Gundam series is. But it crunches the whole thing down into just one episode. The other thing is that it's fascinating that the prologue is, I think, the best episode of the series. And I've never seen that happen. Because like, and I don't mean that in the sense that the rest of the series is bad. It's just that the prologue is such a tight, like everything pays off. Like they build and pay off these like emotional arcs for these characters that we've known for 20 minutes.
Oh, totally.
And right, like Nadim is on screen for what, maybe 4 or 5 minutes of the entire episode. They bring you to tears when he dies at the end of the episode. Yeah. And I think that's just like an incredible feat of writing for a single episode. But at the same time, the tonal whiplash between this and the first episode is insane. So the first episode, we're 21 years later, and none of the characters from the prologue, except for Delling Rembrandt, are like around, and we have Soletta Mercury going to the Astakasia Technical School, and it's like a school, like almost a comedy in a lot of ways. Like there's still like mech fighting because the school has a Renaissance German dueling culture.
Of course.
But that takes place in mech suits.
Of course.
And so all of them will have some sort of like antenna on the head that when that gets cut off, you lose.
As one does.
So it's like robo fencing.
Yeah, basically, except they have like missile launchers and stuff.
Wow.
I love.
But yeah, like there's a huge tone shift.
Wow. How interesting.
And a lot, like they try and come back to like how heavy the prologue is a few times, but for the most part they don't sort of achieve that same level of like the tightness of storytelling and sort of just how effectively they use the 20 minutes in the prologue.
Okay.
They come close a couple times, but they never quite get there again.
That is...
and I think just that's such a fascinating thing when pilots are generally... They feel like the show... Like a prenatal version of the show.
I hear you. I think what's interesting about this pilot versus the rest of the show is that it is gutsy to do like a prologue and then have the rest of the series be something like, you know, and 21 years later, you're like, hold up, I just got invested in this mom and her daughter. And now like, so what? I think that's pretty gutsy. And I think I love it. I think that's fantastic. I have to say, I am not a seasoned anime watcher, enjoyer. But this was really solid sci-fi. It was everything that Jeff said. I could not agree with more. I think that the characterizations, the tightness of storytelling, the archetypes and the way that they were presented, like you knew pretty much immediately who the antagonist was going to be. All of it was really, really well done. And it was, like Jeff said, it was just so tight. It was so narratively, elegantly executed, I think. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah, I thought it was great as well. I'm curious, I guess, about that structure thing with the prologue, because I guess how else would you do that? And I think like I don't know if this were to be structured differently, like flashbacks would be like seeded throughout the first couple of episodes, like or a big reveal at the end of a fourth episode that's like, what happened to your parents anyway? Well,
the prologue is so structural to the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that happens in the rest of the show is built into the prologue somewhere. So everything that develops started because of what happens in the prologue, or is sort of like an unintended consequence of something that happened in the prologue.
Sure. So it's essential storytelling.
Yeah, and even just the idea that the idea of the like permet score thing they mention a few times, of when they're like getting that like data circuitry effect on their faces when they're pushing the Gundam too hard.
Is that the layer 33 thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That ends up being like actually like a really structural concept to the series.
See, but like Ben is saying too, though, a lot of series would just like rely upon flashbacks here and there, or like hints that some, the way that they did it is still pretty unconventional. And I think that is such a cool thing, because it gives you this concrete little pocket of a story that you already have the information to, that you will notice the callbacks to. And that's, for like a 24-minute episode, is really impressive, I think.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they chose to do it that way, but I can't imagine it being anywhere near as effective if they tried to do it a more conventional way.
I agree. And I've only seen the pilot, but I can already see the vision. Plus, I walked in on my fiance watching the first episode, or after the pilot a couple times, and I was like, oh. So I have like a 5-second informed opinion here.
Sure. I just this will sound like a real sidetracked conversation, but I was watching like the 1950s movie Curse of the Werewolf the other day. And I was just thinking about, I don't know, audience like patience when it comes to like formatting. Because that was organized in such a way that like the werewolf of the Curse of the Werewolf does not show up until like after the whole first hour of that movie has passed, in terms of like, they tell you that character is like capital O origin, in terms of like, here's what happened to his parents, and here's literally his mother, being pregnant, and then here's the people who raised him, yada yada yada, as it all like mounts up to this. And I was just sitting there, and again, he doesn't actually start like growing like hair on his arms, and well, I guess until he hits 13. Until whatever. He doesn't actually start doing like a werewolf transformation until there's like 30 minutes left of the movie. But I was just thinking, I'm like, that would not fly today.
Yeah.
That would have to be like, you see him as a werewolf in the first like 2 scenes, and then they like keep cutting back to origin stuff. Like, I cannot imagine making someone like wait.
Yeah.
Like wait that long for that kind of payoff. And it just felt like as I was watching it felt like a real like artifact of how we structure these kind of things. And I wonder if that's maybe a little bit here too, that it's just like, let's get right into like robot fighting.
I
while
think
also
part
providing
of
that key like narrative context.
I think part of what makes the prologue so effective for a Gundam show specifically is that most Gundam series kind of start the same way.
Okay, sure.
Because most of them have the first episode structured the same way the original series did their first episode. So I've started watching the 79 Gundam, and having seen other series afterwards, before it, the first episode is like all the beats from it you'll see in almost every other series. So you're gonna get, like, there is some kind of conflict between Earth and space that's built into basically all of them.
Right.
You're going to get somebody infiltrating a facility where the Gundam is, and the Gundam is some kind of new technology, or in some cases is like newly discovered ancient technology.
Right. I was reading about that. There's like, yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah, that's the one of the hooks in Iron-Blooded Orphans, is that the Gundams are like ancient archaeotech that is rediscovered. But in Witch from Mercury, you're getting the Gundam as this like new medical technology. In many series, it's just a newly developed weapon. There will be some sort of massive war crime that results from the infiltration of that base, and that will end up with a kid piloting the Gundam.
Okay.
And so like those beats play out in almost every series. And I think this prologue lets them kind of show like, no, this is still a Gundam show. Like, we're still hitting the kind of beats you're gonna expect from it, while also letting them then start the pilot as the school show that a lot of the series is.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Interesting. It's a little bait and switchy.
Not exactly, but it definitely like.
But like here, we're playing into all the tropes.
We're gonna get to the stuff you expect from Gundam,
right?
But we're starting in a weird place.
You just gotta stick with us.
Yeah, we're gonna show you this first, and like we promise that's what we're doing. But
we're getting there. We're getting there. Just gotta trust us. And here's a morsel. Here's a little amuse bouche.
Here's some robots fighting in space. We know what you want.
We know what you want.
I'm curious then, you said that there's a lot of these where they're like recent discoveries or unearthing of something older. Is there ever a scenario where there's like, it's like 500 years of Gundam or whatever, they're like integrated into our society? Is there any like far future ones or something where the Gundam isn't like novel in the world?
Not that I've seen. I know there are a bunch of series that are just direct sequels to the original.
Oh, sure.
So, like, obviously in those, the Gundam in the future series, like, this exists. We have these. But I don't know if any of the alternate timelines have started that way.
Oh, I'd be intrigued because we were talking a little bit before the show, and we were kind of making comparisons to Star Trek, which is obviously something that is roughly, the same amount of years old or whatever. Star Trek is like 66 and this is 79. Solid media franchises in each country of origin or whatever. But where it sounds like Mobile Suit Gundam does not have one overarching continuity, Star Trek like does. And and obviously like the casting crew of, or I should say the within the world of like, say, Next Generation or what have you, like there are clear advancements in technology. They get better, the holodeck and the thing that makes their food for them. Why am I blanking on what that's called?
The Foodinator.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, come on, Ben, it's the Foodinator. Everybody knows that.
Foodinator.
It's the Earl Grey hot machine, okay?
It's the Earl Grey hot machine, yeah. Or whatever, but there's like clear advancements because it's all one story, and later iterations of that show can take place like 100 years later or whatnot.
Macross actually is much closer to that approach.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And I was wondering if there's something similar in Gundam where it's just like, no, we've had warp technology for 300 years. We're not new to space anymore or anything like that.
There's definitely series where they're not new to space anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But usually when they start a new timeline, they kind of redefine what the Gundam is within that timeline.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
So, like in the original, it's just a more advanced mobile suit than anyone has made before.
Mm-hmm.
And then in like in Iron-Blooded Orphans, it is this like ancient technology that required a like a system that like jacked the pilot directly into the machine. Which is a technology they've abandoned because it's like really brutal.
Yeah, right. Are we saying when we say jack? Are we talking like the Matrix thing where they just have? Like
I mean, they have like a spinal surgery.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Cool.
creates like a horn almost.
They jack them in.
And then there's like a just like a suction cup looking thing that goes over the horn, and now the biological systems of the pilot are like connected into the machine.
That's what's
Okay, so like so like Matrix or like the Alfred Molina Dr. Octopus, where he's got like he just has that thing over his spine.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. It actually even kind of looks it's got like the hose thing that comes out to attach actually looks kind of like a Dr. Octopus arm.
Honestly, hell yeah.
That's
God,
awesome.
That scene in Spider-Man 2 grossed me the fuck out as a kid, by the way. Where he gets the spine on his spine? Nasty to see when you're like 10?
Hey dog,
yeah,
you like
yeah.
the spine on your spine.
It's so gross as an adult.
Yeah,
So-
but yeah.
it's nasty.
So I have
Anyway.
a question. In thinking about how we're examining these different forms of entertainment, this series, you know, in the Gundam franchise and all of that, clearly one of the longest lasting franchises, you know, in sci-fi, which is why it is something that's comparable to Star Trek or something like that. So I guess that Jeff, you're the expert in this genre of the three of us who are talking. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why you think that this is something that has persisted across generations to be something that's still so profoundly received?
I think it's that Gundam has a lot of thematic stuff that it's really interested in that continues to be true to our, you know, current existence. Like a lot of the stuff that Ben brought up at the beginning about like how do we interact with machines? How do we interact with sort of the military industrial complex and capitalism and power structures? You know, like that's what Gundam cares about.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching the beginning of the 1979 show, it must have been the wildest thing to see. So the way it opens is this extremely catchy, like Saturday morning cartoon 70s theme song
Mm-hmm.
that's so silly. The first thing that happens after the theme song ends is a narrator explains that half of humanity has died because because 3 space colonies that are these like kind of floating, kind of like the asteroid at the beginning of which from Mercury,
Mm-hmm.
but like way bigger, were dropped onto Earth from space.
Classic Ultron move.
So half of
Right.
humanity is gone. And one of those space colonies is trying to, they believe that they should dominate humanity because they're, I don't know, just they're fascists.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
I
like,
see.
we're the best. We should be in charge. They even look like Star Wars bad guys.
Are those the guys who have like the kind of like olive green uniforms and the helmets?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, they are.
Cool.
Okay.
Context. You know what
Okay.
I'm talking about, right, Lesley?
Yes, I'm good.
Cool.
We
cool.
what I think is so interesting about that is that what I'm hearing is that this Gundam franchise has really tapped into what makes sci-fi so good and what makes sci-fi so beloved and so relevant is the political commentary and the socio-political commentary and you know, the human condition, man, and how you can wrap it up in a fantastical bow, and people will just lap it up.
Ben just posted in our chat on Discord a McDonald's commercial, I guess. Featuring
this was the guy I was
featuring
thinking
Char
of.
from Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah,
okay. This is the guy I was thinking of with like the big kind of buckety, like swooping gladiatorial helmet.
I've seen this guy
actually
before.
I misremembered the color of that uniform, but maybe the older version is more green.
The regular Xeon troopers wear green.
Okay,
there you go.
All right.
They have the same helmet without the crest.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they wear green, and they all have like the stupid little cape built into their uniform, which is fantastic.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that's actually another thing that is a lot of Gundam series have like very clear connective tissue to the original Gundam, in that you'll have a lot of characters that are kind of playing roles from the original series, but will be in a different context. But one of the roles, every series has a bad guy in a mask that is somehow based on the Char design.
Fantastic.
Every single one.
That's fantastic.
That's kind of cool then, as opposed to having one overarching continuity that covers everything, again, like Star Trek. That to then have like iterations doesn't cover it, but like reincarnations of the same ideas and design
there's
elements
also
over time. I think that's also like equally cool.
Yeah, and there's also like you kind of get in the original series, you get just a massive cast of characters. But you start to see a lot of the same archetypes coming up over and over again, and seeing how they change and reimagine them over the course of different series is really interesting. I think my favorite kind of point of contrast is there's a series in the early 2000s called Gundam Seed.
About planting and growing Gundams.
That would be so much weirder than but also that would be cool. Like organic mecha. Like you could do some really gross body horror stuff with that.
You really could. I'm starting to spin my wheels on this a little bit and thinking about the possibilities.
I'll start a new
all
Google
disgusting.
But so Gundam Seed is it's coming out like 30 years after, or I guess like 20 some years after the original Gundam, and they wanted to reimagine the original Gundam series for a modern audience that hadn't seen Gundam before. So it takes you get a lot of the same plot beats, and you get a lot of the same character archetypes, but you get to see them through a show that was written in 2001. And a lot of the way that the show is like handled is like, well, so the original Gundam has all of these acts of terrorism in it. So now we're going to reimagine that through this war on terror that we are seeing. Like in Japan, we're seeing this as like a thing that's happening elsewhere and sort of observing, but like, let's look at how people are responding to that, and like sort of the ideas and the decisions that are being made, and let's apply that kind of that kind of cultural milieu to a Gundam series and see what that looks like. And what it looks like is you end up with a series where the main characters ultimately come to the conclusion that none of the fighting that anyone is doing is helping anything.
Oh, well, sure.
And like, we're just trapped in this machine that is destroying everybody, and them trying to figure out, how do we break this machine and free everyone from it?
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes...
Which has certainly
like,
been the theme of the last 4 years.
But it takes the same, like, main character archetype of this, like, kind of just, like, technically inclined dork, who ends up in a robot, but it handles the stress that kid would suffer in a much more nuanced and humane way than the original Gundam does. Like, the original Gundam has the protagonist, Amuro, like, he has PTSD very quickly.
Oh, sure.
But he's still a bit more gung-ho about, like, you know, being able to, like, kick ass in a robot.
Mm-hmm.
But then afterward, he'll be like, oh god, what have I done? Whereas in Seed, the protagonist is kind of the whole time, like, terrified of the idea that, like, he could kill someone in this thing.
Right, which is obviously
And
a huge topic in this one as well, that, like...
Yeah, and he spends a lot of his time fighting, using the fact that he is, like, naturally inclined to be an extremely good pilot, because he's, like, kind of genetically engineered that way, to not kill people as much as possible. And it's cool because you get to see these same ideas, like, reinterpreted, and it doesn't require a, like, sort of slavishness to continuity or having to return to a status quo,
Right,
or
totally.
like, you know, a lot of the problems we're seeing with Star Wars and Marvel as these, like, big media franchises. It allows you to reset, have a creative team, give you their vision with this idea, but the idea is so big that as long as they have the kind of, like, touchstone points of, like, you need a robot called a Gundam, you need other robots for it to fight, it should be about how adults are ruining everything for the kids, you know, and, like, as long as you're hitting those touchstones, you can do really different and unique takes on it. Like, there's one series that is just essentially it's essentially just wrestling.
Okay.
It's robot fights have become... Have you ever seen the movie Robot Jocks?
Can't say as I have.
Okay. It's very fun. It was made for like $30, but is pretty good.
I've obviously seen Hugh Jackman's Real Steel. Is that what you meant?
Real Steel is essentially Robot Jocks, but like simultaneously better and worse. But so there's a series called G Gundam where the Gundam fights are just like a political resolution method. There's a tournament every 4 years where every country sends a Gundam. They fight
so
on
it's
Earth
like
'cause no one lives
Eurovision.
there anymore.
So it's like Eurovision.
Yeah.
Is
It's like
this,
Eurovision and wrestling.
Yeah.
Mobile Fighter G Gundam?
Yeah.
I gotta get it.
I haven't watched that
It
one.
sounds amazing.
It's on my list because the designs are also just absurd in a way that I love. Like the Dutch Gundam is a windmill.
Stop.
That fucks. The series is set in the future century where space colonies representing countries have agreed to hold an organized fighting tournament known as the Gundam Fight every 4 years. So it's much like the Smolympics.
The Schmooper Schmoll?
The Smooper Schmoll, yeah. To settle their political differences in place of war. Each colony sends a representative fighter piloting a giant humanoid mecha called a Gundam to battle on Earth until only one is left, and the winning nation earns the right to govern all the other colonies until the next tournament. Okay, save.
But if instead of election
Should have
cycles, some
bookmarked
robots beat each other up.
I mean, in some ways, that would be more fair.
Yeah, for sure.
It would certainly be more fun.
Yes.
Yeah, Jesus. I swear to God I was going to say something smart before this came up, but now I'm just thinking about that.
Who isn't?
Yeah, sure. Oh,
We're talking about themes.
Yeah, we were talking about themes of, again, like obviously militarism, comes up quite a bit in this, but just the idea of like, what's the point of war if there's no loss of life? Is like, so why are we fighting if it's all just robots or whatever? I'm sure has to kind of come up, right? Like,
well, I mean, it comes up in the absolutely psychopathic speech that Delling Rembrandt gives
exactly
in this episode of like, no, weapons are a tool and they should only hurt other people.
Yeah, that was unhinged, I have to say.
Yeah.
I was not expecting the vocal montage to contain such unhinged content.
It's uniquely insane.
Yeah.
As a speech. It's so good.
I was like, what in the fuck is this guy talking about? I was like, it was great.
It
was
the idea that he's so offended that the Gundam hurts the pilot as much as it hurts the people it's killing.
Yeah.
Is like, that's such a specific offense to take.
I love it.
It is funny that there are two conclusions you can draw that from that scenario of like, oh, if war is just robots fighting robots, one branch is, well, then we probably don't even need war at all. And the other branch is, obviously we need to kill humans specifically.
Yes.
I'm like, no. I think anti-war actually might be all right, you do your thing.
But the best is that his main point of logic is that, like, no, you should feel terrible when you kill somebody.
You should. It's bad.
But also, let's not do anything about, the need for that. Let's not address that, like, maybe we should just not kill each other. Like, no,
sure.
We should just ensure that you feel terrible.
Right. We can't dehumanize the kill. The killing's fine. Don't worry. Like, we feel bad about killing people. Well, you should, because it's terrible. Well, maybe we should stop doing that. Actually, we just need to make sure that you continue to feel terrible. But
war should go away. No, war should be worse.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that really does make it perfect that he becomes like a super CEO by the time the regular series is happening.
Of course.
Oh boy.
The government in the regular series is a corporate conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
So like the 350 biggest companies are like the UN. And he's in charge of it. And yeah, the idea that like we should make everything worse is the most CEO-brained thing you could do.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. Well,
I mean, obviously these huge ethical questions are coming into light right now with, Boston Dynamics, and obviously we live under corporate oligarchy and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Just the other day, they unveiled that stupid robot
dog
that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sure
did. You mean the Tesla one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say the Boston Dynamics robot dog with an AK-47 on the top.
No, that's just where everyone knew those stupid dogs were going.
From the beginning. The robot's dancing. How cute. It won't be dancing forever.
Yeah. It'll be dancing on your grave.
But I think that's interesting about how the series is like constantly evolving to include new topical like ethical questions and new like types of technology and whatnot. Because I think that's where a lot of not to start railing against like remake culture, but I think that's where a lot of things kind of go wrong on the Hollywood perspective, is that so many specifically like science fiction movies and science fiction stories are very directly tied to the politics that are connected to them when they come out. Like Star Wars is obviously about Vietnam. The Day the Earth Stood Still is about nuclear disarmament.
Sure.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers is about like Red Scare, Cold War fears. And then when they try to like remake these types of stories in like the 2000s, it's like those politics aren't as relevant anymore.
That's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing anymore.
Making things like RoboCop. Well, RoboCop's gotten more relevant, hasn't it? Making stuff like
bad example.
All right, fair enough. Total Recall years later, it's like there's just like a disconnect because it's not tied to the 80s in the same way.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see like the solution is obviously, well, let's update the politics of it as well, not just the aesthetic.
Yeah, but that would be
visuals.
hard, and maybe like the man babies that are the primary audience for marketing now would not like that.
They made Terminator woke.
Oh my god.
They're such losers. The YouTube was a mistake.
Yes.
But I mean, that makes me even the more grateful for a show that does like bother to update like its politics and world building to reflect the current situation and the current questions in a way that certainly other franchises have maybe dropped the ball or perhaps choosing to like stagnate a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good to see something like addressing modern times and modern issues and whatnot. I don't know if this show specifically, I mean, obviously the pilot has, but I don't know if the show in general covers that kind of like militaristic concern and all the topics we talked about. But certainly this pilot seems to already.
No, it definitely, everything that gets brought up thematically in the pilot does get followed through in the series.
Okay, good.
It's
Cool.
it's very much setting you up for what are you going to care about in this series, is largely set up through this prologue episode.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It also sets up the one other like thing that I love about these Gundam series that is set up in this prologue is the just absolutely bizarre naming conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They manage to not make sense in any language. You know, no matter what culture you're from, most of the characters' names will be like, what? What is this? We don't get some of the best ones though in the prologue.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one, I think, in all of Gundam is there's a like a jock bully character that's introduced as an antagonist for the early part of the series, who's named Guel Jeturk.
That's a good one.
Sorry, that got me.
That's a good one.
It's so good. Like,
That's
what?
good.
That's you just put sounds together and decided that was a guy.
You just threw a bunch of syllables into a cup and shook it, and then threw it out like dice.
Ericht Samaya is such a beautiful name for a baby girl.
It is though.
Oh yeah, it's also just like hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody, including the
5 times
actors
fast,
on the
go.
show.
Folks, rewind and re-listen to the beginning of this episode. You'll hear a slight pause before I said the word Ericht, as I had to kind of think about it for a second.
See, you could have edited that out. No one would have ever known.
I do, usually.
Well, now you got to leave it in.
I had to edit
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I had to edit the last episode pretty heavily to make it sound like I knew how to pronounce Chinese.
I'm so proud of you.
At least Japanese
There's
is a
also-
language I speak.
There's another one that I love that is a less important character, who's named Chuaturi Pan Lunch.
Bread lunch, right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Here's our other mech pilot, Panera Bread.
Okay, I am scrolling through this
That's
list. I
actually a
did
really
just
fun
see-
character. She's from Earth and extremely racist against space people. It's so funny.
Much
All
like
right.
the
Because she also
Mass
looks like a poodle.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Here, let's let's zero back in on I guess the episode we saw today. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it had some fantastic setup payoff. I understood the world building immediately.
Yeah.
I love just even like, this probably isn't a little thing, but I just love how they move around through like 0G, where they have like the ceiling like arm holds or whatever, so they kind of like stop like apes, you know, like swinging from trees or whatever, that just like zoom forward, grab, and kind of sway for a second.
Yeah.
Like,
There's also that great bit of animation when Eri appears in the hangar near the beginning, where she sort of just jumps off
Yes.
like into 0G, and Elnora swings out and catches her upside down.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, okay, all right. It just showed us so much in that small amount of time.
Yeah,
is
you
so
really got
cool.
like, this is where these people live, and like they're moving like this is normal. Like this 4-year-old is
Yeah.
navigating 0G like it's the most natural thing.
right, that's the life you have.
Yeah.
I like the designs a lot. I liked I lean toward realistic sci-fi. I really like I mean, obviously it's come up so many times, but obviously like I'm a Trekkie, right? But I don't even mean like that. I mean like more realistic in terms of like The Martian, the other one by Chris Nolan, who's that's called
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
The Martian, Interstellar, Gravity, and whatnot, where it's like very much the way we do have to navigate space with like spacesuits and
Right.
Actually caring about your orbit and stuff like that, not just in like Star Trek and Star Wars where they're like, we've arrived in the Dagobah system. Boom, instant. The air pressure's great. We can
go outside with no helmets. You will be fine.
Right. Don't worry about it.
Like, I love the bit in Martian where he actually has to make his ship like spin at the same like speed to be able to like airlock with another ship, or else he's just gonna like spiral out.
I've only ever read the book. I've not seen the film. I've only ever read the book.
The film is so good.
Well, the book was amazing, so I don't doubt it.
God, that's such a good cast. I love The Martian.
I need to watch it.
Or hell, even like the first couple of Alien movies have some pretty realistic like physics and whatnot.
Yeah, I actually
in terms of like the way their computers and engines and stuff work. It's not just like people don't have like magic Star Wars space flight. It's like it feels very grounded and real.
They have to push 15 buttons to get some system to start. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. And I appreciate how that was incorporated here. That it's just like, oh yeah, we're in like a realistic world with physics and stuff.
Yeah, I liked that too.
Sorry, Leslie, I kind of cut you off for you.
Oh, yeah. All I was going to say was, it was just going to make conversation. It's not even really relevant, but I was just going to say that and you can feel free to cut all of this if you want to, but I just finished reading a book today called The Calculating Stars that has a very similar situation. It's like an alternative reality of our world. And in like 1952, a meteor hits us and like causes like a second ice age. And it's all about this lady who's trying to, she's a computer, like how they had them all, they were people back then in 1952. And so she like does calculations for, like all of these different things. And it goes into so much detail about the specific things that she has to do as like basically a rocket scientist. And it's really, really great. But anyway, only relevant to us. So whatever, but it is really good. And it did remind me of things like, The Martian and Interstellar and stuff like that, where they go into like all that detail.
The hyper groundedness of this is nuts, but sometimes there has to be some science in science fiction.
Right. Imagine, if you will.
And it is kind of like fun to like remember like, oh my God, there's so much work that involves us like even being able to set a story in space.
Oh, absolutely.
That I don't know, maybe we're taking the genre for granted or whatever, but like space travel took a lot of work, didn't it?
Yeah, that was hard work. Yeah, they should give themselves a pat on the back for that one. That's tough.
But I like that's incorporated, and like their world very much like with its airlocks and anti-gravity and rooms full of like catwalks and engines and stuff like feels connected, and it isn't just like. I still feel like we're in a very realistic world, and I appreciate that about it.
I agree.
Yeah, you can tell they thought a lot about the setting designs. And like, what would this, like, how would people live here? What would this look like? What would they need to live here?
Right. And so, yeah, even things like there are ceiling, like, grab handles, I thought was just, like, such a clever thing. Of course there would need to be. How else do you stop yourself?
Right, exactly. How else do you navigate, back to the bay or whatever? Use your little ceiling handrails until you go.
The alternative is just smacking into walls.
Like we used to do at the skating rink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just all of the scientists at this, facility doing important scientific work are just concussed all the time because there's no railings, so they're just bashing their heads against walls to stop.
Everyone's just got weird wrist bruises from like
All right.
It's weird. Right. After a year, all the calculations we get from these guys are wrong.
Yeah, it's like something's going on with them? I don't know.
It's like they forgot how to do math.
All right.
The slowed down happy birthday sequence.
Oh my god.
It's so good, but
Happy
also
birthday,
Oh,
dear Ericht. Happy birthday to you.
it was beautiful.
It's Dad. Nothing.
When?
Maybe nothing gets me. Maybe nothing gets me worse than when like a kid doesn't realize what's happening and it's something tragic or whatever.
Oh my god, I know. Talking
Oh,
about
it's
some,
Dad. I'm like, no, your dad's dying, kid. No.
some dang old cats in the cradle and the silver spoon going on right there.
Oh no. Don't. I can't. Not on air.
It makes me so sad.
but yeah, it's
Ugh.
yeah, like that ending to the episode is so strong.
Yeah,
is
And
it's a
very,
real
very
good
strong.
setup.
Yeah.
And it also like it makes you like just absolutely devastated at the death of a character that you have watched for like a few minutes.
But he's her daddy. And that makes it very, very, very sad. And also, there, like, not only is there, the daughter who has no idea what's happening, but in the same vessel is the mother who knows exactly what's happening and is having to
Yeah.
shield. So that's like double whammy tragedy right there.
And yeah, and just juxtaposing like their reactions are both on screen at the same time.
Yeah. Wah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad.
Birthdays, believe it or not, are also a recurring theme.
Oh, how wonderful. They're my favorite holiday.
It's just a recurring thing of like characters' birthdays being things that matter in the series or are like points of conversation that will result in some sort of like characterization.
Okay. Well, that interests me.
Yeah, it's a thing that I haven't seen in any other series that is sort of unique to this one. Just the idea of having a birthday as this like very human, like straightforwardly human thing
Mhm.
of just like having a day set aside for each individual for the rest of us to celebrate that they're alive.
Yeah, contrast us against the robots, quite literally.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah, good point.
yeah, it's like a really effective sort of bit of humanization
Yeah.
and like reinforcement of a lot of the sort of like alienation of humanity via technology
Mhm.
to have this focus on this extremely human thing that is like it serves no practical purpose, but
it's-
it is
yeah.
very like it's still very significant.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, it's the human thing.
Yeah.
Any other favorite moments? I guess we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but
My favorite moment, predictably, was absolutely the reveal that the daughter was the key to the callback. That was awesome. Like, it was just like one of those big, it was cinematic. It was cinematic the way that they did it. And I really, 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 really dug that. And,
Yeah,
and in the fact
definitely.
that like there was that much emotional investment and build up in such a short amount of time to make me feel that invested, to make me feel that this was so cinematic. Like, yes, that's gotta be my favorite.
I messaged Jeff before we got started, in which I explicitly sent the message, "Oh God, I know where this is going." And then
Oh
had to-
sure.
and
You
then-
can see it coming a mile away.
Well-
I'm not denying that.
But here's the thing: I got it wrong because I 100% expected that kid was going to get trapped in the robot.
Oh.
I for sure thought there was going to be like, "Oh my God, she's in danger." No, she's a natural. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I do.
all of a sudden it turns out oh my God, it was children the whole time. They're the
Right.
best at piloting the robots or something.
We
Or
need
some-
4-year-olds to kill our
Hey,
enemies.
I
You
literally I messaged Jeff like, "Oh no," and then I was
Oh,
like, "Never
boy.
mind, I was wrong. Something
Yeah.
totally else happened."
I could kind of see it when the couple was about to split up, one to look for the child and one to deal with the other thing. I was like, one of them's going to find the kid in the Gundam and then something's going to happen. But I knew I knew the child would be found inside the Gundam. That much, that I knew. I also had a feeling once it happened, I was like, and I feel like there's something that's going to happen with this kid.
I fully thought the station director was going to seal the kid in the robot and be like, we're doing the test with a baby.
Yeah,
Ben, God.
I fully thought, I'm like, that seems intense, but
fucking grim, mate.
They draw her like a villain, which is why I think you arrived at that. When like, oh no, actually she does kind of just treat this kid like it's her granddaughter.
Yeah.
But you're kind of primed for the scientist who's drawn like Bram Stoker's Dracula and has a weird bionic jaw to maybe be sinister.
I literally thought, I was like, oh, I'll do what I must to make this robot program succeed, even if that means using a child. I fully thought that's where it was gonna go. Anyway,
Well, Ben,
I feel like the classic, like, I feel like that's a trope, right? Anyway, the fucking Monsters Inc. I'll do whatever it takes to get this company alive, even if I have to scare 1,000 children or whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. It sounds like we might be wrapping up here. With the stuff we have to talk about. I thought this was a great pick. Excellent choice.
I loved it so much. And I don't even go here. And it was great. It was a great time.
We didn't quite really talk about like the context of this within, I mean, we talked about it as like a franchise, but obviously this is something, a lot of Japanese work has a lot of like themes around militarization and whatnot on account of its history of militarization. And this, seems to be a good representative of, if we're covering international TV and not just anime, right? This feels like a good representation of both the anime medium and also like TV from Japan.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of themes happening in Gundam that are pretty well represented in Japanese media, sort of in general, right? Like there's a lot of shared territory with Gundam and Godzilla, for example.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. About the effects of gross experimentation and war and all that kind of stuff.
I haven't said this at all, but also I think the animation is beautiful.
Oh, it's
gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous show.
It's gorgeous.
I was fully captivated by that opening sequence that's in like the dark of the interior, where it's just like all those like moody like blue shades and the helmets and the light.
They slowly light the scene by reflecting the instruments off of her helmet visor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the good stuff.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, all that stuff. Jeff, where can we find you and what are you up to?
I do a webcomic called Hell Inc. at hell.rentathugcomics.com. It's about demons who work in the office that runs hell. I post new ones every week. Relevant to Gundam, I am working on expanding Big Robots, Big Feelings into its own sort of tabletop RPG system.
And
I'm looking, aiming for February for that.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, people can, you can check out the game on itch.io. What is it? Rentathug.itch.io. This is my profile. You can download the one-page rules for free. And then once I get a little further on, I'm going to be posting sort of development diaries on Patreon as I take this one-page thing and turn it into sort of a full game system.
We'll
also draw a lot of robots.
That's the dream, isn't it? To get paid to draw robots?
Hell yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty ideal.
And obviously, we'll promote the hell out of that Kickstarter.
Oh, of course. I'm feeling like maybe we should play it.
Yeah, we could totally do that.
I'd love to. God, we should find someone who owns a ttrpg podcast network.
If only we knew. See what you can do
I'll
about
shoot
that.
an email to my people.
Yeah.
Who is me. I'm the one who checks our emails.
He said writing a sticky note and putting it on his desk.
Yeah. I'll reach out to him.
Got him.
There we go. Hell yeah, man. Lesley, where can people find you?
Usually these days, Blue Sky, occasionally formerly known as Twitter, at Vanetti. That's where I'm at most places. Also on Tumblr, a little bit more heavily on Venetti. I'm not really doing anything significant at the moment, but that could change at the drop of a hat. You never know unless you follow me. So,
well, it sounds like we have a new Gundam series to write together.
I tell you what.
Once again, I'll invite everyone to the Google Doc. Folks, my name is Ben Hamlin. You can find me anywhere online as Sufficient Owls, anywhere that's relevant anyway. I am, of course, all of my work's at infinitybreak.net. Where you can check out all of our podcasts, past and present, and of course our streams at twitch.tv/Infinity Break Gaming. You can listen to Parascience and of course Syndicated with Lesley and Ben, which you're listening to right now. Thank you for your support. Our logo is by the incredible Terra Boss Art. Our theme song is by Mandra Sigma. We will be back down the line with another episode of Syndicated soon as we continue our international television series. Thank you so much for your support and for listening, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.